Yeah, let's get at it. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you had a fabulous New Year's Eve. I hope everybody was safe and realized that this year is the year you need to get healthy. Otherwise, you're going to be fucked. So, uh, I like both of these gentlemen that we're about to talk about, Joe Rogan and Bill Maher. I'm not saying I agree with everything that either of them say because I don't agree with anything just about anybody says except for my wife, of course. But I will say that it's awfully good to hear these people now pretending that it's brand new information about the shit I've been saying for years. I've even made multiple videos about how I think Bill Maher's research team basically uses my content, and this is years ago, like from 2017, 18 on. When he talks about obesity and public health, it sounds like he is literally mirroring the things I say, which is wild because people are gonna be like, "Oh, but you're alt right and he's a Democrat." Like, first of all, I believe that we're both independents. We just view things a little differently because if you are a member of a political party at this point in time, with all the fraud that's being exposed and everything that's been done in the last 10 years, you're kind of a fucking idiot, in my opinion. And if that insults a bunch of people, so be it. It's what I fucking do. But let's go to this video because I found this horribly interesting. This is Bill Maher on the Joe Rogan podcast, which is wild because I don't really see Bill Maher having Joe Rogan on his show, which Bill just means you're kind of a pussy, and I mean that in the most respectful way, pussy. But let's take a look, shall we? Add the stage.
I mean, these new drugs they have.
So basically, what they're going to start talking about is Ozempic and stuff like that. So let's just get in here. I'll try not to interrupt them as much as I can, but you guys know me, and I'm going to add my 2 cents all the fucking time. So let's do this.
Diet. It's now a disease.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these new drugs they have.
Ozempic. And
Ozempic.
Like yeah.
I was reading about Ozempic. I didn't know this until recently. They have zero clue why it works.
And that's pretty true. They really don't understand the mechanisms of it. They just know. It's like people are like, well, causation. It's causation. There's a difference between causation and correlation. This is just correlation. It is correlative that a drug, a pharmaceutical drug that is based off of Gila monster venom, and that's not a lie. That's the fucking truth. It is just correlation that it, spikes people's insulin levels to make it so that they have slower gastric emptying. Which, by the way, is a mimicking of gastroparesis. It's wild to me that the side effects are now the actual cure. Again, I will say this very loudly. If you use one of these drugs to get healthy, I understand, because wanting to get healthy, it means like you are willing to risk your health to get healthy because your health is so bad. If you're taking this drug and you need to lose 10 pounds, you're a fucking idiot. I just got to be real, because the side effects are vast, known, and there is a ton of unknown, because you guys are the fucking experiment. Like, they plan on people staying on Ozempic and Wegovy and stuff like that forever, and they have no idea what it will be like for you forever. They have no long-term data on this past basically 5 years. None. Like, you guys are the fucking experiment at this stage. So maybe you should rethink that. But if you want to use it, let's use it. Let's build up your healthy habits so you can get off of it. And when the hunger does crash back in, it's actually managed by your healthy habits, which is how it should be to begin with. But they have very little idea how this works, which is also, by the way, it does cause your pancreas to create a bunch more insulin and puts you basically in a state of hyperinsulinemia, which is actually an unhealthy state. Just putting that out there too. I would argue that a huge portion of chronic illness is caused by hyperinsulinemia, which then causes insulin resistance. Your medical science isn't going to say this to you, because then they can't get you to inject insulin to you all the time. But if you're type 2 diabetic, stop eating carbs, dumb fuck. I mean, try to reverse that shit as much as you can. And at the very least, minimize your carb intake so you have to inject yourself with insulin less. It's just, one of those things. One of those things, I know I'm not a doctor, but I've actually reversed dozens and dozens and dozens of type 2 diabetes cases where entire medical practices don't reverse any. So let's just keep it real where we're at with this, with public health. Let's go.
They know that it works, just not why. This would bother me a little,
It should.
that if they're giving me something and they're like, hey, this new miracle pill, just take it. We're working on the reason why it might do this to you, but until then, just fuck it.
There's no biological free lunch either. I have friends that are on that stuff, and one friend who just got off of it because he was having some serious gastrointestinal issues that are apparently one of the side effects. There's no free lunch. If you're taking an injection that makes you less hungry, something's going on. That's probably not good.
Yes.
And you're also losing a lot of connective tissue, bone mass, and muscle mass.
So here's the thing: when you radically diet, if you're morbidly obese, and you put yourself in a very steep caloric deficit, unless you very seriously weight train and watch your protein intake and avoid ultra processed foods, you're going to lose muscle mass, whether you're on this or not. Like that, if you eat like shit, you just eat less of the shit, you are going to lose muscle mass. You're going to lose bone density because you are in a basically malnutrition state. And in that malnutrition state, you are going to have a hard time when you basically eat less because you're already not getting nutrition from the shit food, and therefore you're basically getting less shit food. It's a weird thing I see all the time. I'm on Ozempic, so I can say no to my second piece of cake. Why the fuck are you saying yes to the first piece of cake if you are literally to the point where you're injecting a $1,500 a month injection into you that is based off of a Gila monster venom that has known radical side effects, including causing people to go blind and shit? Like, it's insane to me,
My good friend Peter Attia did a study on his patients. He's a doctor, did a study on patients that took Ozempic, and one of the things that they found is they lost weight, but they gained fat. They were actually
So this is the concept that they lose more lean mass. They lose more lean mass than body weight. So in other words, their body fat percentage actually goes up. So say they start at 40% body fat and they lose 20 pounds, but that 20 pounds is 12 pounds of lean mass, which is very, very scary. And I don't think that is like a 1-to-1 ratio. I have a hard time believing it would be, because when you look at a very seriously fat person, they're in the 50 to 60% body fat range, which is ridiculously horrible. Just super fucking bad for you. Ridiculously bad. But they are in the 40 to 50, 60% body fat range. Like, they can't lose that much lean mass. So I don't believe it is I don't believe it's basically like a 1-to-1 ratio. I believe that does slow down, but it's just the same thing. If you don't resistance train and you lose weight, you are going to lose muscle mass. It is going to eat away at everything. You're not incentivizing your body, which is basically an adaptive engine, to keep or grow muscle mass. Like, there are people that can lose, especially if you're morbidly obese. You can, if you stay in a nitrogen positive state, meaning you eat a lot of protein and healthy fats, and you do serious resistance training, you can add muscle while losing body fat, especially if you're morbidly obese. But what he's talking about is how people will end up with a higher body fat percentage because they'll start at 50% body fat, they'll lose 40 pounds, 22 of those will be from lean mass, and then all of a sudden now their body fat percentage went up even though their weight went down. And that's been studied and shown to be true in some cases.
Higher percentage of body fat because they were primarily losing muscle tissue and connective tissue. They were losing so much of that even though they lost like 20 pounds, they actually went from like 15% body fat to maybe 20% body fat, or whatever the number was.
But what I find the most alarming is the way, in just a matter of a few years, the group think that this is a disease now that cannot be controlled by what for 50, 100, a million years before this.
Obesity is not a disease, by the way. Obesity is a result of very poor lifestyle choices. Period. It's not a disease. If it's anything, it is a disease of addiction because you are addicted to the food that is making you fatter than fuck. Like, not one fat person deep down, if like we hooked a lie detector up to all these, even fucking like Samira and all them, you glutton yourself to fatness. You overconsume yourself to fatness. There's not a question about it. There are almost no people around to be like, man, I cannot eat a lot of food without gaining weight. And most of the time, those people have some serious metabolic issues, but are also extremely fucking sedentary, extremely sedentary. For doctors who are paid by the companies that make Ozempic and Wegovy and Zepbound and stuff like that, for doctors to say it's mostly genetic, you guys are lying and have no valid proof of that. I would argue I could defeat any of them easily in debate. And one more time, I'll throw this out there to any MD that would like to debate me on this. I would gladly ruin your fucking career looking at you, Dr. Mike, because you are a piece of shit human being anyway. And it's real quick ADHD tangent. Dr. Mike keeps sitting down with these droves of people who clearly he knows more than. I will sit down with you at any given time. Give me 5 minutes notice so I can wipe the crusties out of my fucking eyes. And we can do a live debate in front of as many people as you would like. And I would gladly show how much of a fucking ignorant fool you are. Just because you have an MD by your name does not mean you know shit about weight loss at all. There's a reason why 40 to 50% of my clientele for weight loss, mine and my wife's clientele for weight loss, are doctors, nurses, physician's assistants. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're not trained on that in any way in your fucking actual schooling. Most of the time, I think it's 80% of med schools don't even have nutrition requirements. Why bother with that shit? Like, just because you have an MD by your name does not mean you know what the fuck you're talking about for any chronic illness. Like, I would argue that metabolic disease, doctors are woefully unqualified to treat it because they have no training on how it is derived, which is lifestyle derivative.
It was the scientific consensus that, of course, you can control it.
Yeah.
With diet and exercise. Just in a couple of years, that went out the window. And you cannot find an article on the front page or in the op-ed page of the New York Times in the last couple of years that has any other belief than this one, that it is a disease, it is not within a person's control.
Which is wild because being obese is 100% in your control. I'm not saying that being at a lean body mass is totally at your control, but I am telling you straight the fuck up. Like, straight the fuck up. It is one. If you are fat, you did it to yourself. And I will gladly help you. We are literally coming out with the tools necessary. Hunger Free and Happy app coming soon, but and it will be on web app, iOS, and Google. Be looking for it. The people that are on our existing app already are already aware, and then we'll be moving those over, and then we're going to open up to all of you. But it is in your control. You just need to build healthy habits. You need to stop eating like an asshole. You need to stop thinking that you can, drink a 700 calorie Starbucks first thing every fucking day, not get off your ass, and then still eat what everybody else eats and go with it. We also need to come to terms with the fact that the 2,000 calorie diet was for people that went to work, men that went to work every single day, and most of the time had a lot of neat, basically non-exercise activity. And basically did manual shit all the time. Like 2,000 calories, most adult males shouldn't eat 2,000 calories. Most adult males that eat 2,000 calories that are sedentary are going to end up somewhere around 200 pounds, which is the average weight for the average American male right now, 5'9", 199.9 pounds, which is fat as fuck, by the way. I am literally an athletic, large-shouldered, muscular adult male, and I weigh about 185 fucking pounds. The most American males that are 5'9" should weigh somewhere between 160 and 175 pounds. You just should. But instead, they weigh 200 pounds and are built like Homer Simpson and think it's okay. No, you just look like a fucking dopey, fat, sloppy fuck. Fix your shit. But back to what I was saying before the ADHD took me. 2,000 calories for most people in America is too fucking much, because when that was derived, people didn't just sit on their motherfucking asses all day. And now people just sit on their motherfucking asses. And for women to think that you should be taking in 2,000 calories a day and be even not unless you are extremely active, you're going to weigh about 200 fucking pounds. Your hormones do not help you with weight loss. And oh yeah, by the way, if you just sit on your fucking ass and you eat 2,000 calories, you're going to weigh 200 pounds. If the average adult female should weigh, and the average adult height for a female is about 5'3.5" inches tall, you should weigh at max probably about 135 fucking pounds. The average female right now, don't worry, the average female weighs about 170 pounds right now with a waist to height ratio over 0.6, which makes them morbidly obese. That's the state of America. And I appreciate these two gentlemen reciting all the shit that I've been saying for years. I appreciate it. It would be awesome if either of you would have me on your show. But I know that that's not likely because I'm just an average person that happens to fucking not take anybody's bullshit. Does a lot of research on weight loss because I myself have lost over 100 pounds. I've coached thousands of fucking people to sustained weight loss. Our clientele, just our coaching clientele over the years, has probably lost over 100,000 pounds cumulatively together. best-selling weight loss author. Why have me on and actually speak reason when, you guys can act like this is brand new fucking information?
So they're all in on Ozempic or whatever else because we certainly can't leave this to people themselves to control it. That's a giant sea change, and the way they sheep-like just go right in a row.
Yeah.
No dissent. Not one person standing up in the paper of record to say, wait a second, this can't really be the case. I mean, 50 years ago, we looked like a completely different people.
Yeah.
Why is it the case? In 50 years, did we evolve in 50 years, human beings? Was cake not delicious in 1969? I think it was.
That's another thing, too. Like, people say it's their genetics. Where's it been? Like, it's also like, people are so worried about skin cancer, so we slather on carcinogens when skin cancer rates have done nothing but go up since you started slathering carcinogens on your body. It's like, get there faster, people. The healthcare industry is a fucking industry that would rather you be sick and them treat you than rather cure you or prevent you from getting sick in the fucking first place.
And yet somehow people resisted it.
Well, there's a lot of diet changes for sure.
I don't know why I can't hear that. You guys hear that?
I think one of the things about the narrative, there was a lot of influence by vested interests. Like, I'm sure you know about the 1950s, I believe it was, where the sugar industry paid off scientists.
Of course.
To
yes.
to put the blame on saturated fat, and it changed people's eating.
And corn.
Corn
they changed what the sugar came from because they had too much corn because they subsidized it.
Yeah.
So let's make sugar out of corn, which is not really what you should be making.
Right.
I mean, cane sugar is not great for you either, but it's better than corn. You see the.
Well, here's the thing. Cane sugar is not what you actually eat when it's processed sugar. Processed sugar is very similar to the process of like what they do with coca leaves to make cocaine. They strip all the nutrients out of it. They strip all the fiber out of it. They condense it down, and then they make it a very refined substance. Did you guys lose the video stream? Are they trying to fucking axe me? I don't know.
The obesity rates go up as corn syrup, but it's still within someone's power to turn it down. You're not helpless.
There's plenty of people out there that have done it too that you can get examples from.
I'm one of it. I'm one of those people. I've lost 100 and some pounds, kept it off for a long time. My last binge day was 1,810 days ago.
I mean, especially in this day and age with YouTube and these social media influencers that have lost a ton of weight, some of those people have gone on diets and lost 150 pounds, and they'll tell you how they did it. Right. And you can get inspiration from them.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, it's
not.
But it's not.
I always say that, like, what Crystal and I do with our coaching, we don't have some, like, sometimes we'll get a client that comes to us and they're wanting the secret, right? They're wanting the understanding. And don't get me wrong, No Morbidity, Alchemy, tremendous supplements that help people control their hunger. But it is about hunger management. We used to have we have a book called The Hunger Management Method. That was the book before Hunger Free and Happy, which is what the app is based off of. The tenets of what we do for our coaching is now Hunger Free and Happy. But the reality of it is, it's like, watch your hydration, watch your sleep, watch your stress management, make sure you get activity that is appropriate for your physical capabilities in a day, avoid injury, and try to have, minimal stress in your life and do those things. Avoid ultra processed foods as much as possible. Try to keep ultra processed foods under 10% of your complete weekly intake and go from there, which, by the way, Hunger Free and Happy app will track the percentage of ultra processed food that you are eating. But it's one of those things where I don't understand why we are like even proposing that it's not people's like fault. We hear it all the time. Like, you don't know what I eat. I can fucking look at you and tell you that you eat too motherfucking much. Like, I don't understand that. I can look at you and tell you are eating too fucking much because you're fat. So I don't give a fuck if you eat 1,000 calories or 10,000 calories. If you are fat and not losing weight, you are eating more than you are calorically burning. And that is the only number that matters. It's another thing about counting calories that people sometimes, wonder about. And don't get me wrong, we're going to have on the app, we're going to have an ideal weight and ideal calories and macros for you. We're going to have an actual, an actual calories and stuff like that based off of your actual weight right now. And then we're going to have like you be able to customize it if you want to, right? But in relative terms, it doesn't matter what the daily total is. If your daily total is 2,000 calories and you're not losing weight, but you think you should be, guess what? You are not. So therefore, 2,000 calories is too much for you and your current activity level. It does not matter what your opinion is on it. Like reality dictates that if you are consistently eating 2,000 calories and you are not losing weight and you want to lose weight on 2,000 calories, you either need to reduce your calories down from 2,000 calories and or increase your physical activity so you can then lose the fucking weight. These are all real world things. It is not that complicated. If you are not losing weight, you are eating too much or moving too little. And I understand people like, oh, that's horrible advice. Just tell people to eat less and move more. It basically boils down to that, though. Am I saying that there is there's no difference between eating 1,000 calories of ice cream and 1,000 calories of steak? Of course, there is a difference between those two things. 1,000 calories of ice cream is going to spike your insulin levels. Is going to make it very hard for you to lose weight. That is a factor of it too. But for what you are eating, that 2,000 calories worth, you, in fact, are not losing weight. So therefore, you can change the composition of what you eat. You can change how much you eat. You can change how much you move around every day. But in reality, what you are currently doing, if you are not losing weight, is in fact too many calories. If you want to eat the same foods, you need to eat less and or move more. And if you want to change those foods to help you out, you might be able to eat the same number of calories. But as a newsflash for you, it is probably going to be less volume of food, which it actually should be. You should not actually be depending on a whole lot of volume of food, because if you depend on a whole lot of volume of food, you keep yourself used to eating a whole bunch of volume of food. And then when it is no longer salad and it is pasta, you are going to gain weight like a motherfucker. Reality exists.
Not easy. And the idea of calling it a disease, it's interesting because we agree alcoholism is a disease, but it is similar. Because you are addicted to food. Like people are absolutely addicted to food.
Yes, they are.
Especially high fructose corn syrup products and things where there's like you're getting that big sugar rush and the insulin spikes and
they do this in the lab, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yep.
they have all these
they create the foods.
All these food companies have labs where they go in and they test how much fat and sugar and salt we can put in this thing to make it as addictive as possible.
Yes, they call it the bliss
point. They don't
point.
want you to just eat one of that old Lay's potato. You bet you can't eat. They want you to have the whole bag and then start another bag.
And that is exactly it. Thank you, Mr. Maher and Mr. Rogan. It would be awesome if you guys would have me on your show, because I've been saying the same shit you guys have been saying. I've just been saying it a lot fucking longer. Thank you very much. But I will take some Q&A right now for anybody that wants to ask questions. I wanted to just say thank you all the people on X that are starting to watch more. We have more people watching on X by a large number than we have watching on YouTube. YouTube basically hates me ever since I was completely right about the pandemic and offered to debate any doctor on the pandemic, and basically they subbed me. Which, by the way, my last debate was with Culture Cats. What's up, dude? I hope everything is good for you. I know you're sometimes in the comment. You're the only person that's ever taken me up on that, and I appreciate you doing so. And if you are not following him, go follow Culture Cats, because here's the thing: while we may not agree on those on that topic, and I beat him in debate, and you know it's true, bro. But he still has really good content. Go watch him. But if you want to know the truth about COVID, you want to and not have it done through the rose-colored lenses of, well, I morally think you're wrong. Because that's what it broke down to. If you guys haven't watched that debate, he was like, well, I guess we just have different morals. And we do, because I think it's incredibly immoral to tell healthy people that they need to do any fucking thing to protect other people who can opt to just stay the fuck in. And that's reality. But I'll take any questions. Let's do this shit. I've got back to walking every day. I will walk after this. Very, 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 very good. I saw something up here too where somebody was having trouble. Let's see. This is Buftanjai 99. Anyway, I'm having trouble cutting my calories and sticking to it. I found my BMR, but it's a few hundred cut in calories from my current calories. What your BMR is and everything like that. If you are not losing weight, that is all semantics. That really is. I would start, if I was you, here's what I would do. I would check out how much you're hydrating. You should be taking in about an ounce of fluid per pound of your ideal body mass. If you're wondering how to find out your ideal body mass, do a reverse, do the BMI reverse math on a 25 BMI for your current height and figure it out. And that way, you know exactly how many ounces you should try to be taking in. And it's still just kind of a guesstimate. I understand if you're 400 pounds, I'm not suggesting you take in 400 ounces of fluid, because that would fucking be fucked up, because your kidneys don't get bigger. You just get bigger. But I do suggest you check out your hydration first. Make sure you're getting plenty of fluid. Like, let's say for me, for example, I weigh about 185 to 190 pounds. I normally try to get anywhere from 180 to 200 ounces of fluid in a given day. And by midday, I am still, like right now, I am about 125 to 140 ounces in almost every day. I try to get around 75% in before my midday. Just so I can then not be drinking a bunch of fluid right before I go to bed, so I don't wake up in the middle of the night and have to go piss, because sleep is another thing you should be checking out. These are all things that can be tracked and monitored on our new upcoming app, the Hunger Free and Happy app, which will start as a web app, and then it will actually go onto the iOS store and the Google store. And if you sign up now and pay for it now, well, not now, because if you're not on the app already, you're not even given the opportunity. But the very second we can, it will likely be launched as a web app first. That then you can, once it's on iOS and Google, you'll be able to download those and use those as your leisure. But very, very, very happy with what's coming on. I still have 42 pounds to go until my goal. Keep fucking going. Keep fucking going. You got this shit. No shit. If you need help, sign up. As a matter of fact, let's see if I have a link here for you guys. You know what? Here we go. I believe these will work out. I don't know. I'll be doing that later. I might come back on later on today. I don't know. But if not, I'll be on tomorrow, and I hope all of you will take us up on that. I am going to be working on the app a little bit today, finishing up a few things. It is going to be very, very, very good. We will put all of our workout programs on there that you can run right on the app every damn day. Basically, EDDF volume training will be on there. Lean mass will be on there. The hypertrophy program, the hybrid program, the TRX program, all of those things. But hang on a second. Thank you. I'll be checking the app out to help me out of this plateau. I've already lost 45 pounds, but still need to lose 40 more. Great fucking job on the 45 pounds. Everybody congratulate them. I try planning on getting the new app. Everybody will be able to get it. Everybody. Very, very, very soon. Very soon. So cannot wait. Very excited. And I appreciate everybody's support. So here's what I would like to do, people. I would like for everybody to take this video and tag Joe Rogan and Bill Maher and say, please have this man on, because it would just be entertaining as fuck anyway. Have me on Bill Maher with a bunch of fucking liberals. Would that not be entertaining as fuck? Would that not be entertaining as fuck? Especially since I don't give a fuck. So that would be fun for me also, but it would also help me out, and I would appreciate it. I hope all of you have a great fucking day. My name is Alan Roberts. I will be back probably later on tonight, probably about 6 p.m. Eastern time. And if I don't make it at 6 p.m. Eastern time, it's because I'm working on this app that I want to give to everybody to help everybody out. But I will be back tomorrow at midday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, as I am normally back on. And I hope all of you have had a great, great, great New Year's Day. Let's make 2026 the year that you lose weight and keep it off and develop the healthy habits you need to keep it off forever. And that is what we are here for. Look soon for the Hunger Free and Happy app. Goddamn.